Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. Today on the podcast, I have Jordan from Scoop and Skedaddle. And thank you so much for your time today. You guys are an amazing entrepreneur family. You and your wife, Trisha, has started a business really from a grassroots aspect. And you guys are super solid people, part of the strategic networking partners in Prescott, Arizona, and just a solid group of entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So let's dive into it. What experiences in your life have shaped your values as a business owner today?
That's a good question. I don't know, just really looking into what happens when you really work hard and put your best foot forward and show up when you're supposed to. It just kind of makes everything in life like a little bit easier, if that kind of makes sense. I know it's not too deep, but that's one small area where I would say that's changed quite a bit, because before we're just going day by day, not really doing anything. But once you have a business, it just makes you more structured and just kind of helps out in life all around.
I love that. So let's expand on that a little bit more. So can you point to a time in your life where you realize that this experience, like either a positive or a negative, like, yes, this is what I want to do, or this is what I want my entrepreneurship journey to look like, or no, this is not what I want it to look like. I want to do something totally different and be different. Like which one of those kind of maybe set you on the journey that you're on now as you built your business?
Yeah. So then I'd definitely be on the positive aspect of, like, I really liked doing this because working for government agencies and big commercial companies, like, you just felt like another number. You just felt like you were living somebody else's dream day in and day out. Yet once we started helping people and cleaning yards, and you just get that little old lady or that older gentleman or military vet that, are just super grateful for, maybe the simplest thing to some, but for some, it's the hugest thing ever. And then, like, starting to get rewarded by that before even the money aspect, like, it just felt good. It felt right. That's what definitely, like, I like about the job, is even though it's small, it's huge to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good. You come home feeling appreciated, and I don't know, nothing beats that. I mean, everything feels good. You're living your own dream and not everybody else's, and it's all on you. So it just feels good.
I like that. So with that as your guiding star, what does success look like to Jordan at Scoop and Skedaddle with your life? How do you balance your life and business? Like, what's success look like for you?
A success to me is getting to a point in life where you don't have to, like, worry about anything really. Like, we live a debt-free life. We own our house. We own our cars.
Yeah.
Like, that's success to me. If we want to go out and have a vacation, we can just go do that. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of scheduling and logistics to make it happen, but success to me is just satisfying a bunch of clients, keeping them happy, and keeping my staff happy, well paid. And I mean, that's it. We're kind of minimalists at this house. I mean, we could probably even downsize this house if we really wanted to. So it doesn't take much to make us happy. And success would just be 3 cars, 3 happy employees, all making ridiculous money for such a simple job. But that'd be it. Happy clients, happy employees, and all my bills paid. Like, that's all I really need. I don't need anything else too crazy.
I love that. I think, again, a lot of people get caught up in the Instagram world or the TikTok world where everybody's seeing, like, yeah, you can make $1 million doing this, or raise your business to $1 billion valuation. A lot of people get caught up in that hype, and it's kind of a nice reminder that business can suit a lifestyle, right? Business can success in a business is very subjective. And if you're happy where you're at and you have a business that supports the life that you want, then that you've achieved success. Like, you have freedom, right? So I think for that message resonates with me. I love to see that. I love to see people giving back to their community.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right too, where, yeah, you can get caught up in the Instagram world. Like, I could use a new boat. I'd like to go boating.
Yeah.
Do I really need a new boat? Like, not really. A boat will make some memories, but a trip with the family will make just as much, and having a good time and being stress-free and relaxed. We never built this to be millionaires. It was never, ever the game plan. It was strictly to fund some vacations, help out the locals that I've been born and raised around for the last 35 years, and just live debt-free. And we've accomplished all of that within 5 years of being open. So it's kind of like anything else after this is just rewarding. And can't complain. It's great.
I love that. So that's a great segue into, let's talk about your origin story. So you say this business is about almost 5 years old. That's getting to a mature stage in the business world. Talk to us about your origin story. How did Scoop and Skedaddle come about, and what sparked that whole thing?
So Scoop and Skedaddle was simply, we had an old neighbor at our old house. His name was Frank. He was an older gentleman, lived alone. All he had was one dog, and he was getting older. He wasn't really able to make it to the backyard anymore. And his kids were telling him, you got to get rid of the dog if you're not going to take care of it, all this stuff. And me being a neighbor and growing up in this town in Prescott and Prescott Valley, like, used to be very, very neighborly. And just told him, I'm like, Frank, don't worry about it. Like, I'll clean it. Whenever I clean mine, I'll come over and I'll clean yours. And then next thing you know, the neighbor next to him was like, hey, man, if you're cleaning his, like, can you mind cleaning mine? Because he was in a wheelchair. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then next thing you know, it turned to the guy across the street. Like, hey, like, you mind coming over and doing mine? And I was like, sure. And then, a couple months went by of just helping neighbors out. And one of them had asked, like, can you turn this into a business? I didn't know. Maybe. Like, I have no clue. So I just kind of started sprinkling it in on my Fridays. I'd mentioned it to my wife because I was already working full time. She was working full time. We only had one kid at the time. I had Fridays off. And I told her, I was like, I kind of want to buy a truck and just go pick up dog poop and see if it'll work. And my wife, being the awesome supporting person she is, she's like, go do it. Like, go spend your money and go get after it. So yeah, she is kind of the driving force behind it. And we kind of just let it trickle in. We started a website, graphic wrapped a little red S10, and that's where it all started. And it just slowly started trickling in without knowing much. Like, I didn't have any much experience in this at all. Running a business, zero experience, zero college, nothing. But the word of mouth just started kind of taking off. Like, if you put good out into the world, it seems to be, comes right back to you. So everybody was kind of sharing the word, and it's just been growing.
That's awesome. That is it's an amazing story to be rooted in a community, helping community out, right? Like, when you have something that most people wouldn't even consider being a business opportunity, you saw opportunity in something that you were already doing, helping people that needed help. And your business sprang from really a desire to help your neighbor. I think as far as a business goes, I think that's super pure, right? And I really love that message. So I think that's awesome. What were some of those early challenges that you faced in that first year of business that you could share, and some lessons learned?
So definitely first year, not knowing anything. You got to be knowledgeable a little bit to start a business. Everybody tells you to jump in. If I could go back, I'd definitely do more research and then jump in. Like, that's my bad. But to me, I was like, I have a full-time job anyway, so it's not a big deal. That first year, just kind of learning, like, how do we advertise? Where do we advertise? What's our demographic? Is it seniors? Is it vets? Is it HOAs? Didn't have any of that knowledge. And you just kind of learned more and more, like, what's your prime clientele? Where's your areas? Are you looking more at HOAs, or do people that live in residential areas need it more? So that whole first year was just figuring all that out and kind of getting it dialed in and fine-tuned, just tightening that screw a little bit each time, to where you're like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. These are the people that need us. Because, you can waste a lot of time and energy on people that are like, go away. Like, I don't need your service. And you're like, oh, my bad. But yeah, I would say the whole first year was just learning and trying to, if I could have, would just be eating up as much knowledge as possible, figuring out your demographic and everything else. Also licensing and everything else. It's super easy, but I never knew how to get an LLC, commercial insurance, all that stuff. Knowledge is key, and everything's at your fingertips now. Like, it took me probably 4 days worth of research on YouTube when I finally sat down and was just like, okay, this is how easy it was. Instead, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll figure it out next. I'll figure it out next. And it kind of just, stalls out your year. But now we're dialed in. We got to figure it out. It's pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, nowadays too, with how prevalent AI is in ChatGPT, you can get a full breakdown on any procedure you want on business administration. Absolutely. In seconds. Like, those days could have been seconds, just for the couple minutes now. So I think that's absolutely powerful. It's like, yeah, it used to be a lot harder to start a business. I think it's never been easier to start a business than it is today.
No, nowadays there's really no excuse for you. You can go do anything. Yeah. You can go make money doing absolutely anything. It's crazy. to anybody who does watch this or sees it, like, just do it. Pull the trigger, get a little bit of knowledge, pull the trigger, go do it. I mean,
Yep.
fortune favors the bold has been a saying forever. And that was the same thing my buddy told me. I was like, I think I'm going to quit my job. And he's like, you've been there 7 years, dude. Like, you're doing really good. You're ranking up. He's like, why are you going to do that? I was like, I'm going to go pick up poop. And he's like, that was the last text I got was, he's like, well, fortune favors the bold. And I'm like, I don't know. It just hit me. And I'm like, okay. So I jumped, and yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. Talk to us about that emotional transition between becoming from an employee to a business owner. How did that affect you and your wife and your family? What does that talk to us about that?
Well, like I said, Trisha's got a heart of gold. I don't know how she puts up with anything with me. On top of raising twins at the same time, we'd sold our house, bought a new one to, live debt free. And then I was like, hey, you want to help me with the bookkeeping? Because I'm not much of a book guy or a computer guy. And yeah, I'd say flipping that switch and being like, hey, by the way, that job that we had stability from for the last 7 years doesn't exist anymore. Like, so we should probably go find more work. And I say we, like she wanted to do this. But yeah, it was something else, because once you get out in it and you start doing it, I think maybe that first month your heart's just racing. You're kind of watching your savings account just deplete because you're like, there's no payroll coming in this week. Like, for me, I'm like, uh-oh. You had to get your own insurances, you had to do your own stuff. But looking into that and going back to the point of research and stuff, found out like my insurance was better than what I had at the town through my small business license. So that was better. So that was cheaper. But in terms of your question, yeah, just making that jump, it's a little shocking. But after month 1 or 2 and the phone calls start coming in and you start growing, it's almost addictive. You're like, what else can I go do? Like, this is all you have to do. You just got to go out there and get it, It's weird because, like I said, your heart will practically stop, and then once you get going, you're just like, well, I'm gonna go start another one, or I'm gonna go do this. I saw somebody doing this on the side of the road. I want to do that. Like, it's fun for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If you could go back, I think you touched on this already, but I want to ask the specific question. If you could go back to day one of your business and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't procrastinate. Just do it. Just go do it. Because I was big on that. I mean, everybody's big on that. Like, I've got 3 kids, so you put all them first before any other thought, where it's like, how am I going to pay for school books? How am I going to pay for braces? How am I going to pay for clothes? How am I going to pay for, everything? And due to that, like, this could have probably started even 2 years sooner, honestly. I was just like, nope, I'll never be able to afford it. I won't be able to do it. I was just full of self-doubt. Like, nope, that's not me. I didn't go to college. It's not going to work out. And yeah, if I go back to day one and just kind of like slap myself in the face and just like, go do it. Nothing bad's going to happen. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? It's like, oh, you go back to a normal job that was paying you what you were making. That's the reality of it. And you're like, wow, I still can. Like, that's the nice part too. Like, I didn't burn any bridges. I could go back to my old jobs probably. And yeah, that would be the biggest thing. Like, just do it. Just stop procrastinating. Stop worrying about everything. Go get your feet wet and get after it.
That's awesome. Great advice. Great advice. A lot of people just have this mental barrier of they think they can't do it, or they need to have another certification, or they need to have this education. It's like, no, most people, basically, you just need grit. If you have enough determination and grit, you can get it done. But you got to believe that you could do it.
You do, and you got to also turn those. Like, my kids were always like, kind of like, I felt like my downfall, where it's like, no, I don't want to let them down. I mean, I got to make sure they're happy, fed, and clothed. When I could have just flipped that script and been like, how can I make all those things better for my kids? Like, how can I get them better clothes? How can I get them better food? And it's all by just putting it in, getting after there and getting out there and getting after it. And once I, kind of lit that flame and looked at it from a different perspective, it was like, all right, this is great. Like, this is awesome.
So let's fast forward to today. How does your work life integration look today for Jordan and Trisha?
So that's the thing. I will be honest. Now that we're got a few hundred clients monthly, a few hundred clients weekly, it's a lot. It's like your own child. And we do a lot of it in-house. Like, my wife does all the bookkeeping. I do all the scheduling, the route planning. She does all the marketing, the advertising. Like, yeah, everybody may tell you, like, sub it out. And then you can, absolutely. But in order to do that, I got to raise everybody's rates. I'm not big on raising people's rates. I think I'm probably one of the only companies in town that never used fuel as an excuse to up your rates or whatever the economy throws our way. I just find a different way around it. Like, tariffs and stuff. Like everybody gets worried. I do get it. Prices come up and you got to charge people more, but I've just kind of always stayed one step ahead. When fuel was through the roof a few years ago, I bought Priuses, modified Priuses, got better fuel mileage, was able to keep my rates the same. But in doing so, keeping those rates low does put a little bit of a strain on us just because we're both so busy all the time. And it's your own kid. And the way I see it is it's all only temporary. Like we're not going to be here forever. This was a fun ride. I wouldn't mind because, like I said, everything's paid off now. Everything's good to go. Finish our house and start our next journey, whether that's raising bison or whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's awesome that your problem solving and your ability to look at your situation and understand what all your variables are and being able to tweak different levers in order to not sacrifice a customer experience that they're expecting. I think that itself is another huge lesson that I think the entrepreneurial community can, especially beginners, can take from this.
For sure. And it's also tough because I know a lot of my clients, they're on Social Security. Like they want to keep their dogs, and they're old and they can't get back there, or their yard's got trick pitches, is like super steep and stuff. And like they just have a set of money, and I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna make it work. I'll make it work for you, because that's how it all started. But yeah, it's fun to think about, and I do like the challenge of like, what can I tweak to keep things the same but growing?
So let's talk about your customer a little bit here. What's your best customer profile look like? Who do you best serve? I think you've touched on veterans, but can you expand?
In terms of just like value, or who do we like help the most?
Let's start with the first one and then go to the second.
So I would say our demographic out here is probably like 60-40, where it's mostly seniors, mostly older people. Because we got a lot of 55 and up senior parks out here that we work for. A lot of retirees that just had family out here, so they kind of sold and came out here and live out here. So it's a lot of older people. The other 40% is like, man, you got a great price and I don't want to do it. So that's great too. Like that's fine. That's perfect. There should be no judgment on that. Like I get it. It gives you time back in your week. Like who cares? But yeah. But in terms of value, like we do a bunch of commercial buildings, like apartment complexes and stuff like that, where sometimes you get these tenants that just open their door and send their dog out and then just have their dog come back in. So doing those and pet waste stations and everything else in terms of value, like those are kind of where it's at. Those are a lot better. But with those, that helps in terms of the pricing for our clients, where it's like, hey, you work with me, because that's kind of my thing too. Like if you work with me, I can work with you. Where these commercial places are like, yeah, you can throw your waste in our trash cans. You're like, oh, perfect. Okay. Well, then that's money that clients save because I don't have to buy another dumpster. Mostly the senior community / vets are our main attractors for the service.
That's great. And so it's awesome that you very clearly have your best customer profile set up, where you have your seniors, vets, disability in one category, and then you have your commercial industry in the other to be able to balance out your cash flows. So I think that's like where you are is definitely a mature spot as a business. I think that's awesome.
Well, that's good. I don't feel mature at all in this business, like ever. Because like I said, I still feel green every day when it's like I'll learn something new, or I'll look it up and like, wow, that one thing could have changed this much over the span of, a year, no matter how small it is. But it's life in general. It doesn't change in business. You can still learn, you can still grow every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think business is just one of those things that just humbles you every single day. It's just because you never know it all. Even people at the highest levels, they still don't know it all. But
Yeah.
it's just being willing to stay humble and keep going at it. I think is what really builds, because I think business builds you more than it builds the business, right? You as a
Yeah, that's very, very fair to say. Because even my wife's like, man, you've grown leaps and bounds since you stopped working for other companies. And
Yeah.
like you said, it is very humbling. The more you put in, the more you learn, the better it, sculpts you as a person, the better, I want to run an honest, legit company with good team members that honestly care about your pets, honestly care about you. And that's what I'm showing my kids. Like, this is what you're going to want to do one day. Not poop scooping, but just life in general, like, oh, okay, dad had a few hundred clients and they were all happy. And I don't know. It does. It sculpts you. It makes you want to be better every single day. At the same time, want to pull your hair out sometimes. But either way, those are few and far between.
Gold is refined through the fire. You
Oh,
know
there
what I
you
mean? You can't get to something precious and valuable without going through fire and testing.
That's a great expression.
It's got to be pure. So I think that the length and the longevity of your business it just speaks to the character that's been developed in you and in Trisha, and now seeing what Scoop and Skedaddle has turned into, that the business is a reflection of your personal growth as individuals and as married couples. So I think there's a lot of pride to be taken from that, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about your business model a little bit. I know we talked about your customers. Like, what does your business model look like? Like, how do you go out there and like, do you have do you have systems set up? Do you have a couple of employees? But talk to us a little bit about your operation.
So the operation is we have 2 full-time employees right now. I'm working on the third one. They do about 150 houses a week a piece. Breaks down to about 30 houses a day. In terms of how we go out and our outreach and stuff, my wife has been huge on just getting out, hitting different networking meetings, talking to every single HOA, every single veterinary clinic, every single doctor, hospital, whatever. Even because even those people send you referrals where it's like, hey, this person just got a surgery or this person needs to take it easy. So they can send you referrals, and it's just getting out and networking and talking. And you had Larry on here before, and like we met Larry that same way, and he kind of explained it to us. And I mean, even though Trisha's only been doing the SMP meetings for a few months, like she's grown leaps and bounds. And it just shows you, like, the more you go out, the more you talk, the more handshakes you do, it just spreads like wildfire. And the different ways you can find people and they can help you and you can help them. Like we work with a lot of cleaning companies where it's like, yeah, they do monthly services. And so Trisha goes out, talks to all the cleaning companies, like, hey, if they got a dog, let us know, give you a discount or, a referral payment or whatever. But that's kind of our business motto, is just keeping it honest, legit, working with as many people as we can and making sure everybody's happy and satisfied.
That's awesome. Can you share maybe a couple stories of customers that have really made an impact on you personally?
I can do that all day. The people I'm most grateful for, and she's probably not going to want the shout out because she's that awesome of a person, but I'll leave her last name redacted. But her name's Teresa, and she just has a heart of gold. She has the biggest heart in the world. She's been with us for a long time. One of my funniest memories with her is my wife was actually about to have our twins. She just got her epidural, and Teresa had called, and I answered because I'm like, well, we're just sitting here waiting. I might as well answer it. And yeah. And I mean, this was early stages, and she's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I've been looking for someone to pick up our waste. I adopt dogs. I adopt senior dogs that are about to be euthanized, and I keep them and take care of them until they pass. I'm like, that's awesome. That's huge. She could hear the hospital in the background, like one of the PA speakers. And she's like, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm in Phoenix. I'm about to have twins. And she's like, hang up the phone. What are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, my bad. I was like, yeah, we'll see you, in a couple days once we deliver these babies and things kind of settle down. We'll come out and talk. And that's like one of my favorite things ever, because like to me, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I'm like, yeah, it's work. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm growing. This is how we learn. But she was like, what is wrong with you? You're just about to have twins. But getting to know her was like great. I mean, I would stay for an hour at a time just hanging out with her, because she used to be a children's nurse in California, and some of the stories that she went through where you're just like, how do you have a smile every single day? She's also a former military vet, and just to spend your whole retirement on doing good. She goes and buys donuts for the fire department. She'll drop off donuts for the cops. She'll do all this stuff. And then she takes on like 4 or 5 senior dogs. She's rescued a couple of our clients' dogs where I'm like, Teresa, these dogs have nowhere to go. Our clients passed away. I let them know about you. Like, if you take them on, I'll clean the poop for free. And she's like, no, you're not going to do anything for free. She's like, I'll take the dogs. And getting to be around her is just rewarding. Like, no matter how good you feel about yourself that day, you sit around her for like 10 minutes and you're like, I could be better. I need to go open the door for somebody or something. But she was definitely number one. I cannot speak highly of her enough. She'll do anything and everything for everybody else and put herself last. And I mean, those are the people, man, if I could fill my Rolodex with just clients like that, I couldn't be any happier. And then the second one, let's see, there's so many. who would I give the number 2 spot? I have a client named Brunel, and she rescues old greyhounds. So like racing greyhounds, where
Yep.
you break a leg, you just get a bullet. Like that's it. And instead of that happening, she takes them in and, rehabilitates them, spends all of her time, money, and effort into these animals to at least let them see out their life. Because some of them are like 2 or 3, but I mean, they don't care. They're race dogs. Like, you're not making me any more money, so time to go.
Mm.
And she makes it work, and she just has a heart of gold. And people like that are just truly phenomenal. But yeah, man, my list can go on and on. There's truly, truly great people out there that if I didn't have this business, I never would have met. I never would have thought of, because I mean, everybody's in their own world. Everybody's got their own stuff going on. But it's cool when you get to step into somebody else's world and just see like, oh, this is awesome that this is out here. Like, this is so cool. Like, people need more Teresas and more Burnells, because it sure run a lot smoother, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So maybe let's kind of talk about how you see your business over the next 3 to 5 years. Like, what's the future look like for Jordan, Trisha, and then Scoop and Skedaddle?
So I think 3 to 5 for our business, we could actually sub everything out. We'd bring in enough revenue to where it's like, all right, Trish, you don't have to yell at me anymore. We're gonna take some stuff off your plate. Hire someone to do the social media. I'll never not be involved. Like I said, I've always worked as a grunt. I've always been in the field. I personally don't think there's anything better than getting out and doing just a good day's work. Like, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I couldn't sit in an office, couldn't be on a computer all day. But in terms of build out, probably be like 4 or 5 cars, maybe at max. Hopefully someone stayed with us long enough. I tell our all of our employees, like, hey, I'm just going to give it to someone. Like, if you want to run it, like, show me you want to run it. Put in that time, much like I did, and just prove it to me, because I can't give my employees their time back. All I can do is give you some money, which, yeah, that's cool. You need money to live. But if I could give you something else where it's like, hey, you run this, you take it over, give me a percentage, like, I would be just fine with that. So in terms of 3 to 5, building it out, 4 or 5 cars would be pretty good. And it's kind of delegating it all, because you'd have that capital to where it's super easy to do it, super easy to, continue to make great profit.
I love that. I love that how you're kind of already thinking about the transition phase of business owner operator to mentor, right? You're already kind of thinking along those lines. Have you given any more thought to that kind of transition? I'm curious to see what you like, because I want to kind of pull on this a little bit, because I myself am curious about how you're thinking about it as a younger man.
So for me, like I said, my biggest thing is time. Like, you think about time, at least I do, and it's your most precious commodity. And to me, like, I don't think anybody get paid enough to give somebody else their time. And that's why I try and like tell people who work here, because it's like, yeah, do you want to pick up poop your entire life? I don't know. I didn't want to. I was like, I just wanted my own business. But I mean, there are some, like, we have great staff. We have phenomenal staff. They're truly, truly great people. And if the transition phase for that would be like, if I could just see, like, you put it in every day, you're out there in the rain, you're out there in the snow, you're out there in the 100-degree days, and you're doing it with a smile, like, I would feel nothing better than being like, here, you put in all this time, like, here's this thing, like, go run it. I'm obviously here if you need anything. I'll help you out with anything. But seeing it continue to grow and grow with somebody that grew in the company would just be huge to me. That'd be like the most exciting thing ever. I mean, you could always just sell it. That's fine too. Take the money and run. But I don't know, if someone's going to put in their time for 3 to 5 years, I think they deserve a little better.
So that particular part of the business life cycle, I think, is not talked about enough. Everybody likes to focus on the start, and then maybe like breaking through to the business plateau and get to the next level. But very little is talked about and socialized about what that maturity transition looks like when you're ready to pass the business off, because that takes a different type of leadership, because now you're leaving again. You have to grow again as another person. You have to turn into somebody else. Now you're not an operator. Now you're a mentor. Well, the mentor role is way different than being in the trenches. So that it takes courage to be able to move in that direction and grow. And that's something that I don't think our society or in the entrepreneur community talks enough about. So I think that people, if we start to talk about the end in mind as we build the business, we can be more thoughtful about how we're moving day to day in the here and now, moving in that direction because there's a plan, right?
I just think a lot of people are kind of just, build it, grow it, sell it. Like, I think that's kind of the model, which is great. I mean, whatever you need to do, you put in all your, whatever you think it's worth, man. You put in all your time and effort, all the arguments, all the hot days, all the cold days. Like, you did all that. But, yeah, for us, it wasn't ever going to be forever. Like, nothing's forever. I mean, this is just the second chapter of our life. So, like, we're just going to turn the page and go to chapter 3 next. And if that's becoming a mentor and showing somebody how to grow, like, that's great. But I promise you, if you spent 3 to 5 years here with us, you'd figure it out. It's pretty easy. It's not that bad. I mean,
That's awesome.
we've got it so streamlined that you just kind of open the laptop and point and click. Like, it's that easy. It's not bad. It's just customer satisfaction. It's just keeping people happy, sticking to your word. It's really not that hard. It's not that bad. But it is, all day, every day, answering that phone, whether it be at the hospital before babies or, Christmas Eve. Like, you just got to be willing to do it.
I love that. If you had a magic wand, what does chapter 3 look like for Jordan and Trisha?
100 acres somewhere green. That would be my magic wand. That's all I want. Like I said, being born and raised here, it was fun. It was good. My kids are third generation, and I'm like, I don't want to grow. I don't want to grow up here. It's not a bad thing. It's just, I've seen it. I've lived this life. Like, what happens if you live in Prescott Valley? I don't know. Look at your grandpa. I don't know. Look at me. Like, you're not going to stay at home and read the same story every night. I don't want my kids to do the same thing. So if I had a magic wand, it would be 100 acres, somewhere green, probably with a couple of cows, kind of like a homesteading vibe. Because like I said, I always got to be outside. I always got to work. Even if that was in my own front yard, I would be just fine with it. Little garden, a bunch of chickens, I would be A-okay with it. And just,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And just break down and get more time with my daughters and grow with them and hang out with them and show them, like, this is what hard work paid for. You did it. Boom. Here it is.
That's awesome. I love that. And as we wrap up, what's one piece of entrepreneurial wisdom you want to leave to the next generation?
Honestly, man, same thing I was saying earlier. Just do it. Don't doubt yourself. Just go do it. I mean, think of your worst case scenario for you personally in terms of, like, everything else. Like, let me try and clean that up. Like, if the worst case scenario is you go get another job and think of a plan B and try it again, like, that's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. I mean, just do it. It's sad that I can say this because I'll probably have friends that watch this and be like, dude, you talked us into starting our own businesses before you did yours. It just couldn't be any more true. I mean, to tell another short story, a gentleman by the name of Rafa, he worked below me as a field hand as I was working, like, with the operating and running equipment. And he's great at drywall. It's all he's ever done. And I'm like, why are you here? I'm like, go do drywall. And he's like, no, man, I can't. I'm uneducated. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, but you're good at it. You're great at it. You're nice. You're easy to talk to. Go do it. And I went on vacation for a week and come back. And he's like, yeah, I turned in my 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, dang, what? Why? He's like, because you talked me into it, man. He's like, I'm going to go do it. And now he's killing it, in Sunset Drywall out here in Paulden. And he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. And he's one of 3 that, I guess, talked to me and they went and did it. So, I mean, there's 5 cases that I can think of off the top of my head that I know personally that was like, just go do it. Worst case scenario, you go back to a normal job for a little bit, collect your resources, collect your knowledge, and go try again. Like, just get after it. Don't be so afraid. I know it seems hard. I know it seems difficult, but once you do it and you get a taste for it, I promise you won't ever want to stop.
That's awesome. Well, I can't end on any better note than that, sir. So with that, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being here. A link to all of Jordan's Scoop and Skedaddle socials and websites and everything will be in the description below. Please check them out if you're in the Prescott area. And thank you again so much for being here and have a great day.
My pleasure. Thank you.